All right, when I go through the usual deck, what I notice is this time, it's not a discussion about how important aerospace is. You're talking about industrial, you're talking about aviation, we talk about healthcare, which seems to me to be in a course of real growth. Power and renewables no longer seem to be the weak sister to your company. I'm wondering whether we're getting to a narrative with the layoffs that you've had to do in aerospace, where in 2021 we're going to be talking about aviation, healthcare, and power pretty much equally.
Well, Jim, I think that there's an important role for all four of our industrial segments to play at GE, and you see that today in the earnings release, right? $500 million of free cash flow in the third quarter, better than we would have anticipated, despite the revenue pressure. Clearly aviation driven. We were down organically 12%, but had a really standout quarter in healthcare. And I think the turnarounds we talked about even before COVID at the beginning of the year in both power and renewables are gathering momentum. We came into this year knowing that aviation was a stellar business, healthcare right behind it, and we had work to do in power and renewables. Those teams have done, I think, a really credible job this year on the cost side of things, driving cash better, all the while continuing to innovate, be it with our 7HA turbines at gas power, let alone what we're doing both in onshore and offshore wind and renewables. So plenty more work to do, but I think you see signs of traction here.
Now, I do believe that renewables had considered to be an asterisk. That's no longer the case. That healthcare, you sold the crown jewels. I now feel that that's no longer the case. Is it possible that if you get, say, any sort of rebound in aerospace, that 2021 could be a very meaningful year for GE?
Well, we already believe, Jim, and we've said publicly, reiterating today, that we think next year will be a positive free cash flow year for us. Positive here in the third quarter. We think we have line of sight to at least $2.5 billion of free cash in the fourth quarter. But on a full year basis, we're likely to be negative. Next year, we think that turns positive, in no small part because of what's happening in renewables and power, right? We've got nice volume dynamics in wind, of course, but a host of legacy cost and project issues that we are working our way through, all the while investing in our offshore wind business. Excited about the wins with our Haliade X 13 megawatt platform. So that's a multi-year story in the making. I think we'll turn positive from a free cash perspective in gas power next year, given the very good work the team has done there. Again, not only in terms of cost reduction, but being smarter about the new business we take on, the underwriting and the attendant project execution. Healthcare should continue to be a strong performer for us. And I think we've got aviation ready for continued sequential softness. But if we get any sort of recovery in 21 or thereafter, I think we're poised to be full beneficiaries of that change.
All right, so Larry, what would you say to people who say this is not sustainable? You took $1 billion of cost actions aviation year to date, $2 billion in cash actions, which basically says they're trying to cut their way to prosperity. So therefore, don't trust this rebound.
Well, I think that that's just plain wrong, Jim. If you look at the way we have run this business over the last 2 years, the way we have talked about the issues from the past, the way we're working our way through them, the improvements that we're making through the application of lean principles, really getting close to the businesses and making sure we're driving safety and quality, let alone delivery improvements for our customers, well before we talk about cost. Coupling that with GE's traditional strengths, not only in technology, but in global reach. This is a company with tremendous capabilities. We are far from our full potential. And I think what people hopefully get a glimpse of today is the building momentum we have toward realizing that full potential. It's a game of inches. We've said that all along. Much more work to do. But I think we're demonstrating traction. That bodes well for the future. We know COVID is an uncertainty, but we can't do anything about that. We're working on those things within our control.
Right. Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.